Alright guys, welcome back to the Regal Gentleman Studio, and today we've got Rishi in the chair. How you doing, man?
I'm doing good. How are you?
You good? I'm very well, thanks. I'm good, man. So what we doing? What's the plan?
Like you can see the growth. Don't know how to maintain them, tame them, and it's been like 4 months since I've planned to just grow out my hair, and it was surprising to me that I have curly hair. I don't know how to go about it. So yeah, you have to help me here.
That's fine, man. I can help you. So what are you trying to achieve from the growth that you've done? Are you trying to grow it longer, or?
I don't mind honestly, but like considering like I'm a student and like professionally, I'm not sure how to like tame them or keep them.
Okay.
So that's been a challenge, but yeah, I would love to keep them lengthy, at least medium length, not too short.
Okay.
And yeah, like basically learn maybe how to manage them, style them. And unfortunately, the wind in London is, as everyone knows, so like it's very difficult. Like it just goes in one direction and then it stays in that direction.
Yeah, well, I mean, if we pick up on the wind first, unfortunately, there's nothing we can do about that. That if you've got longer hair, ask any woman with long hair, ask any guy with long hair, it's the same kind of thing, right? The thing is we need to help you with is how to prep the curls. Okay, so curls, your hair texture, anyone with Rishi's texture of hair, it all starts in the shower. This is our shower. It all starts in the backwash or the shower, right? So it starts with the shampoo and conditioning routine. Okay, it's all about getting the curls into such a healthy condition that they become manageable themselves. And then the cut comes in as well. The texture, the movement, everything else comes from your own curls. So if we're talking about manageability, you've got easier manageable hair than I have, which you might think is weird, right?
Yeah.
But my hair, especially when it gets a bit longer, nightmare. Absolute nightmare. It just falls flat, it's very straight. You can't do much with it. With yours, you can create so much with it. Now, talk about, you're a student, so that's a benefit that you can try new things with your hair. Professionally though, I wouldn't worry too much about having curly hair, right? Because it's just normal textured hair, right? Curly hair is just curly hair, right? If you want to kind of maybe smarten up your look, for example, smarten your attire. That's the best thing to do. So because I always use that Matthew McConaughey reference all the time, right? He's had the same haircut for about 20 years. He wears suits, he wears t-shirts, he wears, kind of open collar, open button shirt. Does he look any smarter with a suit on? So when he's got a t-shirt, he looks the same, doesn't he? He might be clean shaven. That might be the biggest difference, right? But the hair shouldn't be the thing that's going to draw the eye away from you looking untidy, okay? I think that's a very slightly old school way to think. So I wouldn't worry too much about that. The main thing we can do today though is definitely bring them in a bit, because it's looking a bit big, if I do say so. The first thing I saw when you walked through the door was your hair, and I was like, wow. You've got a cracking head of hair though, like fantastic. So let's put that in, and then we need to talk about aftercare, okay? Because again, the cut is the basic thing that we do. It's the aftercare, it's the treatments, it's the products, it's the things that you put in your hair when it's towel dried. That's what gives you that look, all right? So in terms of the length, do you want me to just kind of balance it and make it just sit a bit nicer for you, or do you want to lose it quite a bit of length? What are you feeling?
I'm okay keeping the length, so maybe if we can keep them a little tighter, like a slightly cleaner look, because as you can see, like they're all over the place, like even over here. And I think even so, usually I go with this side of parting, and what happens is that it creates a very disproportionate look. And so anything which can help, because that's my natural parting. But
your natural parting's where it is now. What you've just pulled on there is nobody's natural part. That's just your part that you've created, because you're pulling that from the round of the head. So that if that was your natural part, and your hair would fall that way right now. Your hair's falling here. That's your natural part. So that there is a part that you've created from a very young age, probably. And that's what you think is natural, but that is not a natural part. Because watch, the minute you let go of it, it starts to fall back out. Right. So that is never going to stay like that. Anything I do to your hair today, that was never going to stay like that, unfortunately. But that will stay, because look, it falls naturally there, okay? So that you've got a natural centre part, okay? You've got a forced side part and a natural centre part. One thing I would say is partings in textured hair don't work, because they always bunch up. Because what happens is the minute you part it, as in like side parts, not natural parts, side parts. The minute you start to do this, you smooth out the hair in that bit. And then what happens is all the wave and the curl become bunched up here. So there's nothing I could ever do to your hair unless we were really short that would stop that from happening. That's just the reality, unfortunately. So when you get a lot more length in your hair, you can't have the same approach you would have had when you had short hair. So you can't really have the side part that you had when it was very short.
Yeah.
If it was maybe, if we lost half the length of this, potentially it would look okay. But you can't really have the same style you had back then. Because it's different hair texture now. Your hair, like you said, you didn't even know you had curly hair. So you probably did have a nice smooth side part and it looked great. Yeah, of course. But now we can't do that. Unless you got your hair unless we blow dried your hair straight or you got your hair chemically relaxed or whatever, you know, like the opposite of a perm, for example, then you could do that. No drama. But at this texture now, at this length, or even just a bit shorter than this, you've got to change your mindset up. Okay. I would cut this more uniform all over. When you say make it tighter through the sides, the only way we can make your hair tighter is if we go shorter. Because it's just naturally thick. Like that is just your thickness, right? There's nothing I can do to make that tighter. If I thin it out, for maybe a month, it will sit flatter. But by thinning the hair out, all them short bits in the hair grow as well at the same pace. So they'll probably make your hair even bigger. So what we need to do with yours is cut the shape in. Okay, so it's not about thinning out. It's not really about like taking bits of hair out to make it sit flatter. It's about just cutting in like smaller sections that create a streamlined finish and just create a sort of shorter version of what you've got now. But honestly, I promise you don't like the length or you might not like what's going on now, but the minute that is cut into shape and the minute that is kind of tidied up and whatever else, you won't even think of a side part. You won't, because the minute this is styled out in your natural parting, I can guarantee you right now the comments will come in and you'll be like, yeah, okay, that was right. Dan was definitely right. Because the minute you let your hair just do its own thing when you've got your texture of hair, you look no further. You know what I mean? You don't really need to do too much. Again, this should be low maintenance. Curly hair is low maintenance when it comes to the right cut and the finishing of it. All right? So please embrace it. Take my advice and embrace what you've got. I promise you it'll be worth it.
I trust you.
Yeah? All right, cool. Right, well, let's take this down a touch. Would you be happy to lose maybe like a third of the length then? Yeah. Because you've got a side part right now, so you've got a lot of length over this side compared to that side. You see when you pull your fingers out where that reaches, right? So we need to definitely take some length off through here. But I feel like at the moment you might have a bit of an undercut going on. I feel like the sides seem a lot shorter than everywhere else. So I think maybe if we take off, maybe about a third of the length off the sides, and then probably two thirds off the top, would probably balance it more in, and I'll cut it into that nice shape for you as well. So we'll just rub your hands through your hair, let it fall where it wants to fall, tuck it in a touch, and that'll be you done. Sounds less simple, but it'll be about an hour. So, but yeah, I think we do that. I think that'll be great. If you trust me, that's what I'd recommend.
That's why I'm here.
All right, man. Cool. Right, well, let's get this shampooed and conditioned, man, and we'll go from there. All right?
Yeah.
Right, guys. So just shampooed and conditioned Rishi's hair. Now I'm towel drying this. Now, how do you towel dry your hair? Can you tell me how you do it?
Usually it's just a scrunch.
Scrunch. Nice. I was hoping you'd say that. Right. So shampoo, then condition, leave your conditioner on, work it through, and then pat and scrunch. Okay? Pat and scrunch brings out the curls straight away. You don't get tangles if you shampoo and condition and towel dry your hair correctly. Right? My hair is really dry. But look at that. Right? So smooth, so easy. One hair on the comb. That's how that one hair. Okay. So again, pat and scrunch. You are 50% of the way there. All right, because a lot of guys have that short hair mindset where they get a towel and they do this, right? And yeah, that's fine. Me and Liam are fine with that, right? Because my hair's straight, I can get away with that, right? It's probably not great for friction, whatever else, or static. But if you do it to yours, it'll just tangle. It'll just wind up and intertwine, and then you can't get your comb through it. So start off with the back and sides, horseshoe section on this one, because we want to take the sides and the back in a touch, right? We really want to bring the curls in. That's what we want to do, right? So when I get from Rishi saying he wants me to kind of bring the sides in a bit and whatnot, I just think what he means by that is it's just very big and thick, right? So my job now is to create shape and to make it sit a bit flatter. So again, trying to do what Rishi wants us to do, but also, we still want to give him some nice shape, some nice movement. We want to bring out the curls more as well. So yeah, just a very good, nice, uniform cut will benefit Rishi right now. He's got to get used to his curls, get used to wearing them, right? So I think when he gets an actual cut that's balanced, I think that's when you start to appreciate what you've got a bit more, I'd probably be one of those people. I would. I was close to getting a perm done myself when I had my longer hair, so I wouldn't mind walking in like you did. Bring that together like that. Just wrap it around itself. 2 finger width sections taking off about that much. Right. Using the guide from in front, take away the length. Stick to your game plan, okay? All that hair's fine to come off because we've got our guide and we're working to it. So you see, there's still a lot of length in that hair. By doing this technique, as I do it all the time, there's where it starts to sit. Nice and loads of movement going on. So at what point did you notice you had curly hair then? Was it like a few months into growing it, or?
Yeah, I think it's probably after like second month I started to see some curls.
Oh really? Yeah.
Yeah, because before that I would just do the same thing, one part.
Yeah.
Simple.
Did you think you were kind of almost smoothing your curls out by having the parting?
Probably.
Yeah, I think you may have been. Yeah. You got really good hair, man. Really good hair.
Thank you.
It's, yeah, you're welcome, man. I mean, thank you genetics, mate. You know, that's who you want to thank. I tell you. Has any of your family got curly hair, or?
My mom.
Your mum? Ah, nice. I hope you've sent your mum a nice bunch of flowers every week since you've grown your hair out, mate.
For sure.
So you see, there's so much length coming off the back here. Absolutely unnecessary. Doesn't need to be that much length. We've got a nice medium texture going on here. We've got a nice curly finish. And that is so much more fitting for Rishi's face, but still with shape in there as well. So how long then, like just drawn out the other curls were on the other side. This is going to be so much nicer for him. I think it's a good introduction to Rishi's new hair texture for him. I think it's enough length that he can manage. It's enough length that he can do a few things with as well, in terms of like he can push it right back. If he changes the product, he could probably even slick this back if he wanted to as well. Bit of gel in there or something, I think that'll probably sit really nicely. But I think for an everyday look, for both, you know, again, like we saw about professionalism and students, I think there's a really nice length for him to be able to get used to it. And obviously it'll grow out nicely from this point onwards as well. Mainly because we're not cutting a side parting. So again, side parting never go out well because they're asymmetric. So detail the edges now. So take that neckline up a touch, so give a much smarter appearance. It's always a nice way to kind of make curly hair look a little bit more, as we say, presentable. It's just by taking that neckline up. I just like to work all the way around the neckline with this one. It's got that really nice uniform curl. Work all the way up to the ear, like so. And then bring this just over the ear. So you can see there's my shorter section. I'm going to use that as a guide. So we've got a long, short, all cut off at the same point. I'm going to frame the face just a touch, taking this bit in a tiny bit as well. It's got the thickness, you can really do it, kind of taking a little bit off here, because that's so thick, even the concave here, you won't even see it when you take that length a bit shorter. Our short bit again, so we're working two, so we have our long bit and our short bit cut off at the same point. See? So again, sometimes less is more, you know, I don't need to use the razor technique, I don't think, on this one. So far, it's really feeling like it's gone a lot thinner since from the section pattern. So I think it all just comes down to just the health of the kale now, and just maintaining that. Like I said, this shape will grow so nicely for him. Do you want me to raise your sideburns up a little touch for you, Rishi?
Yeah.
Yeah? Okay. I'll put them where the beard starts, okay? About there. And just tidy up all this neck hair here. Again, this will make the haircut look untidy as well. It's totally unnecessary, don't need it. There's enough hair hanging over it that you won't see it. It'll keep him going for a little bit longer. Before I put the trimmers away, because we're working sideburns, I'll check they're even. So, one finger on the right hand side, the next one, work it down until your fingers match. And then just make sure everything's level. So it needs to come up a tiny bit. There we go. Little hint and tip, anybody out there doing their own sideburns, never use your ears, because ears aren't symmetrical, right? I'm going to show you this on Rishi's ears now, okay? I'll show you on mine. If I put my finger in the middle of Rishi's ear, on the other one, is that level? Is that level here? No. So I do mine as well. Nope. They're not level. Never use the middle of the ear, all right? Use it as a reference point for the first sideburn, but then use your fingers for the other one, okay? Tip top down quite a bit to really, really balance this through, okay? So see how much tighter that is to the sides now, but you've still got a nice head of hair going on, right? So at the top, I'm gonna do a very simple connection point, okay? So I'm gonna do a center part right down the middle, like this, like so. And then I'm gonna work from the front into the sides and connect it straight, just like that, okay? There we go. There we go. So I'm connecting in top to the sides like that, right? So it's maintaining a bit more length from the center part, but getting shorter and shorter towards the round of the head. We'll work this diagonally now, okay? Pretty diagonally, so we're still keeping the same shape around the head, straight out. And straight down the middle. There we go. The loads is going to come off this side because of that side part. Again, don't be worried, just follow your guide. Okay, you got a guide from behind and a guide underneath. Pull it right out. That's a really nice, easy, simple way to connect the sides into the top, right? And all we do, straight up the middle, pick it up, we've got guides either side. So again, we'll take off about that much. Pull this right out, like so. Now, on this corner here, I'm just going to connect that little tiny point because the other side was apart and I've got a feeling there's going to be a bigger point on that side. So I'm just making sure it's completely balanced because we've gone that, then that, okay? I don't want to leave too much of a corner on there. This is just me being very picky, just anticipating what this side's going to be like. Yeah, I see, much bigger corner. You need to take that down. That's the side part. Bring it straight across, just from before the ear. I'm going to write this down. There's a guide underneath. I'm going to use that guide there. And that matches up to the other side. Like that. And then, just to make sure everything balances into the top, pull this up here, just give it that tiny little point. And that's where your part wants to fall. Okay? Go with it if you can. Honestly, go with it. It suits you loads. It works loads. It'll be so low maintenance. It'll slick back more. It won't bulge up at the sides. That's it, right? So, work this through your hair. Like so. Just work it right the way through. Please don't be precious. I know your hair's fragile because of the texture, but you can get stuck in when you're putting in a base or a lotion, okay? You want to coat all the hair. Like that. All the way through, from the bottom, from the roots to the top, okay? And then, bring it back with your fingers like that, right? Now, I'm just gonna put a tiny bit of heat on this. It is a heat protectant lotion, so you'll be fine. But I'm just gonna put a bit of heat on it, just to dry the shape in. Only to about probably 80% dry or something like that, okay? So still keeping it quite wet. A high heat, but a low speed, okay? All I do, I'm gonna pinch your hair like this. Scrunch it. Kind of what you do towel drying, okay? Like that. Right, just like that. And then to finish off, I'm going to put a serum on. Now this will give a nice gloss, not a shine, a gloss, which for your hair colour and your hair texture is fantastic for. So your hair's still a bit damp, right? This will just give it a really healthy look, all right? Let me just mould it into shape. You see how easy that is to manage?
Yeah.
Very easy. And that really suits you. It shows off all the curls and all the wave, and then you can just literally just embrace what you've got from now on and just see how you get on with it. If this is your first time growing it out, it's a good base to start from. All right? Happy?
Very happy.
Thanks, man. It looks great. So glad you didn't go short. Back to the side part. So glad. Thanks, man.
Thank you, Dan.